Let's keep it a buck, family. The relationship between foundational Black Americans and the Democratic Party is like that toxic situationship your homegirl can't quit. She swears he'll change. He says, baby, just one more chance. This time I'm for real. And the next thing you know, she's crying at brunch because he ghosted her on her birthday. Again, that's us, y'all. The Democratic Party knows they don't have to work for our love. Every election cycle, they roll up with a bucket of chicken, a hot sauce in my bag moment, and a black church photo op, and we turn out like it's Revival Sunday. Meanwhile, our neighborhoods stay crumbling, our schools underfunded, our jobs outsourced, and our dreams stuck on layaway. Today, I'm walking this all the way down. Why block voting for Democrats ain't never worked for FBAs, why it's time to get off the political plantation, and why the only option now is FBA independence. And for all my family who still say, but the Republicans are worse. Baby, both them parties are snakes. The only difference is one hisses and the other smiles in your face. Malcolm X broke it down 60 years ago, and it hits even harder in 2025. We got stats, we got receipts, and you know, I got jokes for these Democratic shills. Yes, Al Permanent Perm Sharpton, Pastor Jamal Prosperity Gospel Bryant, and the king of tap dancing, Boulay Martin. Y'all ready? Let's get free. Let's talk about this myth that block voting Democrat is the only way FBAs can survive. Chile, let's look at the scoreboard. For the last 60 years, Black America has voted Democrat at rates higher than any other group. 88 to 95% in every major presidential election since 1964. Pew Research 2024. No other group gives away their power so consistently, no questions asked. Here are the receipts. In the 2020 presidential election, 92% of Black women and 87% of Black men voted Democrat. In every key swing state in 2016 and 2020, the Black vote was the literal margin for Democratic wins. In congressional races, over 80% of Black Americans have voted for Democrats since the 1970s. So, with all that loyalty, what have we gotten? Employment. Black unemployment is still double the national average, at 8.1% versus 3.8% in 2024, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Black youth joblessness, 18% in most major cities. Wealth, the median white family has $184,000 in net worth. The median Black family is still at $24,000, Federal Reserve 2023. The Black homeownership rate is 44%, lower than it was in 1970. Schools, majority Black school districts receive $2,200 less per student than white districts, EdBuild 2022. And guess which party controls most major urban school boards? Democrats, police and prisons. Despite defund the police lip service, Democratic mayors, Eric Adams in NYC, Karen Bass in LA, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, have increased police budgets. Black men are 5.8 times more likely to be incarcerated than white men in states run by Democrats and Republicans. So tell me, where's the return on our investment? If this was a business deal, we would have fired the CEO decades ago. But every 4 years, we sign up for the same scam. Let me channel the OG for a second, because if you don't know your history, you'll keep falling for the con. Malcolm X, in his legendary "The Ballot or the Bullet" speech, said it best. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. The white conservative, on the other hand, openly shows his hand and without apology. Chow! That's the whole playbook in one paragraph. Malcolm wasn't just talking, he was reading the Democratic Party for filth. The white conservative will dog whistle, call you a thug, push voter ID laws, and tell you he don't want you around. At least you know where he stands. But the white liberal, they show up with kente cloth, take a knee, quote Maya Angelou, and then quietly push policies that keep Black folks on the bottom. Malcolm's warning in 1964 rings louder in 2025. Democrats campaign on Black pain, use our trauma for clout, then forget us the day after the election. They ain't our friends, they're political hustlers, and we've been the biggest mark on the block. Now, let's roast both parties, because neither one loves us. Republicans run on fear and racism. Democrats run on hope and betrayal. Both parties serve Wall Street, Big Pharma, the police unions, and Silicon Valley, everybody except the people who built this country for free. Let's look at the Democratic cities where FBAs are concentrated. Baltimore, 60 years of Democratic rule, still has the highest Black child poverty rate in America. Detroit, once 80% Black, now half the population has fled, and basic services are still broken. Chicago, 90% Democratic, and yet the murder clearance rate in Black neighborhoods is 20%. meaning most black murders go unsolved. When it comes to national policy, the Congressional Black Caucus, CBC, which is 100% Democrat, voted for Biden's 2021 crime bill extension, voted to fund Israel, but not reparations, and still can't get a George Floyd bill passed. So who exactly is winning here? Every time the Democrats get the White House, the Senate, and the House, what do we get? No reparations, no student loan cancellation for black borrowers, no Marshall Plan for black neighborhoods, no closing of the racial wealth gap, and don't talk to me about symbolism. I don't need a black Supreme Court justice who can't define woman. I don't need a Juneteenth holiday while black unemployment skyrockets. I need cash, policy, land, and opportunity, tangibles, not hashtags. Let's bring some history to the surface. Back in 1970, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a top advisor to Nixon, but who later became a darling of moderate Democrats, coined the term benign neglect. The policy memo said, and I quote, "The time may have come when the issue of race could benefit from a period of benign neglect. The subject has been too much talked about. We may need a period in which Negro progress continues and racial issues fade into the background. Translation, ignore black folks. Let the media, Congress, and society move on. No more special programs. Let the ghetto rot, but do it quietly." And here's the twist. This wasn't just Nixon's playbook. When the Democrats realized the black vote was locked up tight, they embraced benign neglect. Clinton did it with welfare reform and crime bills. Obama did it by telling black folks, "I'm not the president of black America." Biden did it by plenty of talk for Ukraine, Israel, LGBTQ, immigrants, but black folks get the same old just vote blue. Benign neglect is why every other group gets a check, a bill, a public apology, or a policy, while we get platitudes and a playlist. The receipts are every. Let's address the elephant in the room. FBAs who say, well, the Democrats ain't perfect, but the Republicans are worse, so we gotta stay loyal. Family, I get it. We've been beaten down by two-party politics for so long, we're scared to imagine life outside the plantation. But fear is a cage, not a strategy. Think about it. If you're always the guaranteed vote, why should anybody ever deliver for you? No other group votes like this. Latinos split their vote 60-40, so both parties court them. Asians, the fastest growing group, are up for grabs, so they get tailored policy. Even LGBTQ and Jewish Americans don't block vote. They demand specifics, play both sides, and win every time. But black Americans? We get vote blue no matter who, and in exchange, we get nothing. Political independence is about leverage. If both parties know you're up for grabs, suddenly your phone rings off the hook, your agenda gets real meetings, and your votes turn into dollars and policy. You scared of Trump? Baby, Trump can't do nothing the Democrats haven't already done. ICE? Obama built the cages. Police? Clinton built the prisons. Immigration? Biden rolled out the red carpet for everyone but you. The point isn't to love Republicans. It's to make both parties earn our vote or risk losing it. No more unconditional love. It's time to start dating around. So what does political independence look like for us? Demand reciprocity. No more lesser evil. Only support candidates who promise in writing to deliver specific tangibles. Reparations, black business funding, targeted education reform, justice reform, and land initiatives. Leverage local power. Build independent FBA/PACS political action committees. Endorse our own candidates, run for office, and control local resources. School boards, city councils, sheriff's departments. Withhold the vote. If no one supports black interests, don't show up. Our turnout drops, politicians panic, and they come running with real offers. Look at how low black turnout in 2022 almost cost Democrats Georgia and Pennsylvania. Strategic partnerships. Make alliances with other groups only if our interests align. Never again let people of color coalitions dilute our demands. Economic independence. Pool black dollars, support black banks, buy black, boycott anti-black corporations, and reinvest in our own communities. Statistically, the only times black progress happened in America were when politicians feared losing black votes or facing black unrest. The Civil Rights Act only passed after years of riots and a threat of mass political defection in 1964. The Voting Rights Act, signed because LBJ was scared of losing the South forever. If we want tangibles, we need to act like every other powerful group, play the field and make them come to US. Now, it's time for the smoke session. Because for every Malcolm X, there's a Sharpton, a Bryant, and a Boule Martin out here telling you, vote blue no matter who. Let's call the roll. Al Sharpton. Once a firebrand, now a paid MSNBC whisperer with a perm tighter than his contract. He'll show up for a funeral and a check, but when it's time to talk reparations, he's nowhere to be found. When the Biden campaign needs a crowd, Sharpton's there with hot comb and sound bites, but never with real demands. Pastor Jamal Bryant, the king of the pulpit hustle. Every election season, he opens the church doors to the good white folks from D.C. for a price. He'll march for George Floyd, but stay silent on Democratic gentrification in Atlanta. Prosperity gospel, poverty results. Boulay Martin. Child, let me tell you, Boulay Martin will do a 2-hour live stream roasting black people for not voting Democrat, while sipping sponsored water and wearing a kente kufi. He'll call FBA independence Russian propaganda, while blocking every black activist who disagrees with him. And the best part? He gets invited to White House chicken dinners as the voice of the community, even though he's only the voice of DNC talking points. They've built careers making sure we never leave the plantation. They aren't leaders. They're glorified gatekeepers, protecting their own bag while the rest of us eat crumbs. The next time one of them shows up at your church, ask them for their policy receipts, not just their check stubs. Let's bring this home. Family, block voting for Democrats has gotten us nowhere. Malcolm X told us, both parties are evil. One just smiles while stabbing you in the back. The stats back him up. In jobs, wealth, schools, criminal justice, Democratic rule has brought more symbolism than substance. No political party has our best interests at heart. The era of benign neglect is alive and well. The only option is a myth, a trap designed to keep us powerless and begging for scraps. The shills? They're paid to keep us asleep. It's time for a new political philosophy, one based on leverage, reciprocity, and independence. No more automatic votes, no more false choices, no more waiting for chicken dinners and selfies. We must become the political force that every party fears, not the one every party exploits. Because if we don't, our children will inherit the same broken contract, the same empty promises, and the same locked doors. So I'm challenging you, yes, you, to break up with the Democrats. Be politically single. Make them earn your love, your vote, and your dollars. The minute we do, the world changes. This is LaSherika, and ciao, I said what I said.